brother's a thief, and you won't understand the cause of your grief, but you'll always follow the voices beneath. Guileless son, your spirit will hate her, the flower who married my brother the traitor, and you will expose his puppet behavior, for you are the proof of how we betrayed her loyalty. Hush, child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down to sleep. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down to sleep. Guileless son, each day you grow older, each moment I'm watching my vengeance unfold. For the child of my body, the flesh of my soul, will die in returning the birthright he stole.
Good morning, guys. We have made it to you here at 11:59 a.m. on Thursday, February 10th, 2022. Good to see you. Here we are for some fun today. I'm going to start with some theater here before the break and good adventures this evening. Very excited for Hunt, Darkest Dungeon, and quite possibly some other adventures. But today, to get started, early afternoon here, very early afternoon, we will do some Congo. Read the next chapter, then we'll get some Lovecraft. We missed this Tuesday. Excited for next Tuesday as well, 1 week from the streamiversary. And then we'll do some playwriting back to my original play as well. So, oh, Fabelot with the 10 months. I was about to thank you for 9 months. You did 9 months briefly before 10 months. Fabelot, good to see you. Have a great meeting. Thank you, brother, for, he says, yeah, in a meeting, but still here lurking. Thank you, Fabelot. Lovely champion. You are the greatest. Let's get a shout out. Fun stuff for Fabelot. Just use his emotes here. Have a fun meeting, Fabelot. Thank you, man. Great to see you. Appreciate it, Fabelot. We'll see you soon, man. But yeah, guys, a fun theater Thursday here. We're on to some great times. We are looking good. Looking pretty good here. Welcome to the Roost. Yes, on Theater Thursday, we have made it. Welcome to the Roost. And, yeah, we'll get some good stuff here today. Start with Congo, HP Lovecraft, and some reads there. Fabelot with the 10 months. It's one of our very first double-digit 10-month subscriber. Almost to the full year already, and we got affiliate just the first couple months of streaming, so that is fantastic. And that'll do it for our New Year's sub goal as well, 8 out of 8, including the resub. Thank you, Fabelot, for finishing that off. Very exciting stuff. Resubs counted too. He did 9 months just a week or so ago. He's already at 10 months here. Thank you very much, champion. Have a good meeting, and best wishes, man. Keep up that great work that I know you're doing. Alrighty, let us begin with Theater Thursday. Inspiring, exciting, and wonderful times. We shall get started here with some Congo. Might as well finish up that soundtrack for Congo as well. Since I started it, we almost finished it. We have like the last couple of Spirit of Africa. The very last couple, 12 minutes of tracks here, so we shall finish that off. Has been interesting. Other stuff soon to come, fixing some other streams, other edits, other things, and more content coming for you guys soon. We'll have that 21st channel reward pretty soon. Get to that streamiversary subathon challenge. We don't really need a channel reward challenge for it, but just so it's there now that we finished the new year sub goal. Very excited too. We'll get set for the streamiversary. Just a week from Tuesday, guys. That is another 12 days. Coming up quick. Alright, on for some Congo. Let us see where we left off here. What else to enjoy? Make sure that's decent volume and all. We are still on day 2, San Francisco. Get a Fabelot for starting off our champion chat. Positive chats, encouraging chat, wonderful chat. Even while working, he is lurking. Appreciate here in the Roost, our Dragon Champion, Sir Fabelot, Hype Train Conductor. He is our top gift subber. He is a truly supportive, passionate, wonderful champion, helping out many fellow streamers. It's fantastic of him. He's been with us since the very beginning, Sunless Sea days. And Isaac here. Naughty Isaac, good to see you as well. Welcome in, Isaac. Good to see you there. Just getting started with Congo right now. For fun theater Thursday. You're doing well this early afternoon as well. They're exciting times. We left off here in day 2 at San Francisco, Congo. We left off. They were grainy black and white images with horizontal scanning line streaks photographed off a video screen, but the image was unmistakable. A ruined city in the jungle with curious inverted crescent-shaped doors and windows. Doors and windows. Yeah, that's right. Shouldn't like a villain, we're celebrating 10-month resub from Sir Favelot here, who also finished our New Year's sub goal of 8, including resubs. We had a couple new ones, I believe. A couple gift subs, and mostly resubs. Very excited there. Fantastic time of its 10-month resub to Sir Favelot, so you have joined some good company with Sir Favelot there. Fantastic. Absolutely great. We are on to Chapter 5 of Day 2, San Francisco. Amy. Amy the Gorilla. Here we go, in Congo. Igor, thank you for the follow, my Russian friend. I don't believe we have a Twitch translate here, but, Igor... Isaac, you don't speak Russian, do you? Igor, welcome in any case. We'll have to translate for you later, but right now we're starting Chapter Amy. Good to see you, Igor. Welcome in. Yep, fantastic time, almost a whole year. Hello, Igor. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Chapter 5, Amy, here we go. By satellite, Elliot repeated, hearing the tension in his voice. That's right. The pictures were transmitted by satellite from Africa 2 days ago. Then you know the location of this ruin? Of course. And your expedition leaves in a matter of hours. 6 hours and 23 minutes to be exact, Ross said, glancing at her digital watch. Elliot adjourned the meeting and talked privately with Ross for more than an hour. Elliot later claimed that Ross had deceived him about the purpose of the expedition and the hazards they would face. But Elliot was eager to go, and probably not inclined to be too fussy about the reasons behind Ross's coming expedition, or the dangers involved. As a skilled grantsman, he had long ago grown comfortable with situations where other people's money and his own motivations did not exactly coincide. This was the cynical side of academic life. How much pure research had been funded because it might cure cancer. A researcher promised anything to get his money. Apparently, it never occurred to Elliot that Ross might be using him as coldly as he was using her. From the start, Ross was never entirely truthful. She had been instructed by Travis to explain the ERTS Congo mission with a little data dropout. And yeah, I wanted to mention you, Isaac, I did finish my TikTok video last night. So take a look at that in the Discord. I'll also post it for you right there. My first real TikTok video, I guess you would call it. Bit of fun there. At least the sly fun. So I had this funny picture in Discord. My first visit to medieval times back then, I had a little ace name tag, so that was fun too. Alrighty, let's see what else here. We left off. Data dropout was second nature to her. Everyone at ERTS had learned to say no more than was necessary. Elliot treated her as if she was an ordinary funding agency, and that was a serious mistake. In the final analysis, Ross and Elliot misjudged each other, for each presented a deceptive appearance, and in the same way. Elliot appeared so shy and retiring that one Berkeley faculty member had commented, "It's no wonder he's devoted his life to apes. He can't work up the nerve to talk to people." But Elliot had been a tough middle linebacker in college, and his diffident academic demeanor concealed a head-crunching, ambitious drive. Similarly, Karen Ross, despite her youthful cheerleader beauty and soft, seductive Texas accent, possessed great intelligence and a deep inner toughness. She had matured early, and a high school teacher had once appraised her as the very flower of virile Texas womanhood. The real Texas womanhood. Ross felt responsible for the previous ERTS expedition, and she was determined to rectify past errors. It was at least possible that Elliot and Amy could help her when she got on site. That was reason enough to take them with her. Beyond that, Ross was concerned about the consortium, which was obviously seeking Elliot, since Hakamichi was calling. If she took Elliot and Amy with her, she removed a possible advantage to the consortium again. Reason enough to take them with her. Finally, she needed a cover in case her expedition was stopped at one of the borders, and a primatologist and an ape provided a perfect cover. But in the end, Karen Ross wanted only the Congo diamonds, and she was prepared to say anything, do anything, sacrifice anything to get them. In photographs taken at San Francisco Airport, Elliot and Ross appeared as two smiling, youthful academics, embarking on a lark of an expedition to Africa, but in fact their motivations were different and grimly held. Elliot was reluctant to tell her how theoretical and academic his goals were, and Ross was reluctant to admit how pragmatic were hers. In any case, by midday on June 14th, Karen Ross found herself riding with Peter Elliot in his battered Fiat sedan along Hollowell Road, going past the University athletic field. She had some misgivings. They were going to meet Amy. Elliot unlocked the door with its red sign, "Do Not Disturb, Animal Experimentation in Progress." Behind the door, Amy was grunting and scratching impatiently. Elliot paused. "When you meet her," he said, "remember that she is a gorilla and not a human being. Gorillas have their own etiquette. Don't speak loudly or make any sudden movements until she gets used to you. If you smile, don't show your teeth, because bared teeth are a threat. And keep your eyes downcast, because direct stares from strangers are considered hostile. Don't stand too close to me or touch me, because she's very jealous. If you talk to her, don't lie. Even though she uses sign language, she understands most human speech, and we usually just talk to her. She can tell when you're lying, and she doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. She dismisses you, won't talk to you, and gets bitchy. Anything else? No, it should be okay." He smiled reassuringly. "We have this traditional greeting, even though she's getting a little big for it." He opened the door, braced himself, and said, "Good morning, Amy." A huge black shape came leaping out through the open door into his arms. Elliot staggered back under the impact. Ross was astonished by the size of the animal. She had been imagining something smaller and cuter. Amy was as large as an adult human female. Amy kissed Elliot on the cheek with her large lips, her black head seeming enormous alongside his. Her breath steamed his glasses. Ross smelled a sweetish odor.
Create videos for your business. With Honey.
Ross smelled a sweetish odor and watched as he gently unwrapped her long arms from around his shoulders. "Amy happy this morning?" he asked. Amy's fingers moved quickly near her cheek, as if she were brushing away flies. "Yes, I was late today," Elliot said. She moved her fingers again, and Ross realized that Amy was signing. The speed was surprising. She had expected something much slower and more deliberate. She noticed that Amy's eyes never left Elliot's face. She was extraordinarily attentive, focusing on him with total animal watchfulness. She seemed to absorb everything, his posture, his expression, his tone of voice, as well as his words. "I had to work," Elliot said. She sighed again quickly, like human gestures of dismissal. "Yes, that's right. People work." He led Amy back into the trailer and motioned for Karen Ross to follow. Inside the trailer, he said, "Amy, this is Dr. Ross. Say hello to Dr. Ross." Amy looked at Karen Ross suspiciously. "Hello, Amy," Karen Ross said, smiling at the floor. She felt a little foolish behaving this way, but Amy was large enough to frighten her. Amy stared at Karen Ross for a moment, then walked away, across the trailer to her easel. She had been finger painting and now resumed this activity, ignoring them. "Oh, what's that mean?" Ross said. She distinctively felt she was being snubbed. "We'll see," Elliot said. After a few moments, Amy ambled back, walking on her knuckles. She went directly to Karen Ross, sniffed her crotch, and examined her minutely. She seemed particularly interested in Ross's leather purse, which had a shiny brass clasp. Ross said later that it was just like any cocktail party in Houston. I was being checked out by another woman. I had the feeling that any minute she was going to ask me where I bought my clothes. That was not the outcome, however. Amy reached up and deliberately streaked globs of green finger paint on Ross's skirt. That'll do it for the soundtrack. We have finished all 28 tracks. That was not the outcome, however. Amy reached up and deliberately streaked globs of green finger paint on Ross's skirt. "I don't think this is going too well," Karen Ross said. Elliot had watched the progress of this first meeting with more apprehension than he was willing to admit. Introducing new humans to Amy was often difficult, particularly if they were women. Over the years, Elliot had come to recognize many distinctly feminine traits in Amy. She could be coy, she responded to flattery, she was preoccupied with her appearance, loved makeup, and was very fussy about the color of the sweaters she wore in the winter. She preferred men to women, and she was openly jealous of Elliot's girlfriends. He rarely brought them around to meet her, but sometimes in the morning she would sniff him for perfume, and she always commented if he had not changed his clothing overnight. This situation might have been amusing if not for the fact that Amy made occasional unprovoked attacks on strange women, and an attack by Amy was never amusing. Amy returned to the easel and signed. "No like woman, no like Amy, no like go away, away." "Come on, Amy, be a good gorilla," Peter said. "What did she say?" Ross asked, going to the sink to wash the finger paint from her dress. Peter noticed that she did not squeal and shriek as many visitors did when they received an unfriendly greeting from Amy. "She said she likes your dress," he said. Amy shot him a look, as she always did whenever Elliot mistranslated her. Amy not lie, Peter not lie. "Be nice, Amy," he said. "Karen is a nice human person." Amy grunted and returned to work, painting rapidly. "What happens now?" Karen Ross said. "Give her time," he smiled reassuringly. "She needs time to adjust." He did not bother to explain that it was much worse with chimpanzees. Chimps threw feces at strangers, and even at workers they knew well. They sometimes attacked to establish dominance. Chimpanzees had a strong need to determine who was in charge. Fortunately, gorillas were much less formal in their dominance hierarchies, and less violent. At that moment, Amy ripped the paper from the easel and shredded it noisily, flinging the pieces around the room. "Is this part of the adjustment?" Karen Ross asked. She seemed more amused than frightened. "Amy, cut it out," Peter said, allowing his tone to convey irritation. "Amy!" Amy sat in the middle of the floor, surrounded by the paper. She tore it angrily and signed, "This woman, this woman." It was classic displacement behavior. Whenever gorillas did not feel comfortable with direct aggression, they did something symbolic. In symbolic terms, she was now tearing Karen Ross apart. And she was getting worked up, beginning with the Project Amy staff called sequencing. Just as human beings first became red-faced, and then tensed their bodies, and then shouted and threw things before they finally resorted to direct physical aggression. So gorillas passed through a typed behavioral sequence on the way to physical aggression. Tearing up paper or grass would be followed by lateral crab-like movements and grunts. Then she would slap the ground, making as much noise as possible. A Twinkie for gorilla eyes. Ooh, funny. And then Amy would charge if he didn't interrupt the sequence. "Amy," he said sternly, "Karen Button Woman." Amy stopped shredding. In her world, button was the acknowledged term for a person of high status. Amy was extremely sensitive to individual moods and behavior, and she had no difficulty observing the staff and deciding who was superior to whom. But among strangers, Amy as a gorilla was utterly impervious to formal human status cues. The principal indicators, clothing, bearing, and speech, had no meaning to her. As a young animal, she had inexplicably attacked policemen. After several biting episodes and threatened lawsuits, they finally learned that Amy found police uniforms with their shiny buttons clown-like and ridiculous. She assumed that anyone so foolishly dressed must be of inferior status and safe to attack. After they had taught her the concept of button, she treated anyone in uniform with deference. Amy now stared at Button Ross with new respect. Surrounded by the torn paper, she seemed suddenly embarrassed, as if she had made a social error. Without being told, she went and stood in the corner, facing the wall. "What's that about?" Ross said. "She knows she's been bad. You make her stand in the corner like a child. She didn't mean any harm." Before Elliot could warn against it, she went over to Amy, stared steadfastly at the corner. Ross unshouldered her purse and set it on the floor within Amy's reach. Nothing happened for a moment. Then Amy took the purse, looked at Karen, then looked at Peter. Peter said, "She'll wreck whatever's inside. That's all right." Amy immediately opened the brass clasp and dumped the contents on the floor. She began sifting through, signing lipstick, lipstick. Amy like, Amy want, lipstick, want. She wants lipstick. Ross bent over and found it for her. Amy removed the cap and smeared a red circle on Karen's face. She then smiled and grunted happily, and crossed the room to her mirror, which was mounted on the floor. She applied lipstick. "I think we're doing better," Karen Ross said. Across the room, Amy squatted by the mirror, happily making a mess of her face. She grinned at her smart image, then applied lipstick to her teeth. It seemed a good time to ask her the question. "Amy want take trip?" Peter said. Amy loved trips, and regarded them as special treats. After an especially good day, Elliot often took her for a ride to a nearby drive-in, where she would have an orange drink, sucking it through the straw and enjoying the commotion she caused among the other people there. Lipstick and an offer of a trip was almost too much pleasure for one morning. She signed car trip? No, not in the car. A long trip, many days. Leave house? Yes, leave house, many days. This made her suspicious. The only time she had left the house for many days had been during hospitalizations for pneumonia and urinary tract infections. They had not been pleasant trips. She signed, "Where go trip?" "To the jungle, Amy." There was a long pause. At first he thought she had not understood, but she knew the word for jungle, and she should be able to put it all together. Amy signed thoughtfully to herself, repetitively, as she always did when she was mulling things over. Jungle trip, jungle go. She set aside her lipstick. She stared at the bits of paper on the floor, and then she began to pick them up and put them in the wastebasket. What does that mean?" Karen Ross asked. "That means Amy wants to take a trip," Peter Elliott said. "We are on to Chapter 6, Departure of Day 2 San Francisco. We shall get to that tomorrow. For now, it is time for our Lovecraft tale portion of this Theatre Thursday. Let's take a look what we've got for our next Lovecraft type of tale. Thank you once again to Isaac, Dragon Champion of 10 months, Favolot, and Igor chatting as well with a new follow. Let's go ahead and translate what Igor said as he came in the channel first. He said,
"Great baby."
Great. Alright then. Anyway. Cute Igor. We are on to the next little Lovecraft tale here, which will be, yeah, very weird one. The battle that ended the century enjoyed Ashes. Azathoth was the one we read after that one. It's kind of weird, brief, poetic one. So we can get something a little better with the Beast in the Cave. Let us begin with the Beast in the Cave here for our Lovecraft tale of today before we get to some play writing this inspiration. Alright. That'll work. Alright, the Beast in the Cave. Let us take a look. The horrible conclusion which had been gradually obtruding itself upon my confused and reluctant mind was now an awful certainty. I was lost, completely hopelessly lost in the vast and labyrinthine recesses of the Mammoth Cave. Turn as I might, in no direction could my straining vision seize any object capable of serving as a guidepost to set me on the outward path. That nevermore should I behold the blessed light of day, or scan the pleasant hills and dales of the beautiful world outside. My reason could no longer entertain the slightest unbelief. Hope had departed, yet, indoctrinated as I was by a life of philosophical study, I derived no small measure of satisfaction from my unimpassioned demeanor. For although I had frequently read of the wild frenzies into which were thrown the victims of similar situations, I experienced none of these, but stood quiet as soon as I clearly realized the loss of my bearings. That's a pretty good idea. Stay calm and quiet instead of panicking and running around. Nor did the thought that I had probably wandered beyond the utmost limits of an ordinary search cause me to abandon my composure even for a moment. If I must die, I reflected, then was this terrible yet majestic cavern as welcome a sepulchre as that which any churchyard might afford, a conception which carried with it more of tranquility than of despair. Starving would prove my ultimate fate. Of this I was certain. Some, I knew, had gone mad under circumstances such as these, but I felt that this end would not be mine. My disaster was the result of no fault save my own, since unbeknown to the guide I had separated myself from the regular party of sightseers and wandering far for over an hour in forbidden avenues of the cave, had found myself unable to retrace the devious windings which I had pursued since forsaking my companions. Already my torch had begun to expire. Soon I would be enveloped by the total and almost palpable blackness of the bowels of the earth. As I stood in the waning, unsteady light, I idly wondered over the exact circumstances of my coming end. I remembered the accounts which I had heard of the colony of consumptives, who, taking their residence in this gigantic grotto to find health from the apparently salubrious air of the underground world, with its already uniform temperature, pure air, and peaceful quiet, had found instead death in strange and ghastly form. I had seen the sad remains of their ill-made cottages as I passed them by with the party, and had wondered what unnatural influence a long sojourn in this immense and silent cavern would exert upon one as healthy and vigorous as I. Now, I grimly told myself, my opportunity for settling this point had arrived, provided that want of food should not bring me too speedy to a departure from this life. As the last fitful rays of my torch faded into obscurity, I resolved to leave no stone unturned, no possible means of escape neglected. So, summoning all the powers possessed by my lungs, I set up a series of loud shoutings, in the vain hope of attracting the attention of the guide by my clamor. Yet as I called, I believed in my heart that my cries were to no purpose, and that my voice, magnified and reflected by the numberless ramparts of the black maze about me, fell upon no ears save my own. All at once, however, my attention was fixed with a start as I fancied that I heard the sound of soft approaching steps on the rocky floor of the cavern. Was my deliverance about to be accomplished so soon? Had then all my horrible apprehensions been for naught, and was the guide, having marked my unwarranted absence from the party, following my course and seeking me out in this limestone labyrinth? Whilst these joyful queries arose in my brain, I was on the point of renewing my cries, in order that my discovery might come the sooner, when in an instant my delight was turned to horror as I listened. For my ever-accurate ear, now sharpened in even greater degree by the complete silence of the cave, bore to my benumbed understanding that unexpected and dreadful knowledge that these footfalls were not like those of any mortal man. If the unearthly stillness of this subterranean region, the tread of the booted guide would have sounded like a series of sharp and incisive blows, these impacts were soft and stealthy, as the padded paws of some feline. Besides, at times, when I listened carefully, I seemed to trace the falls of 4 instead of 2 feet. I was now convinced that I had, by my cries, aroused and attracted some wild beast, perhaps a mountain lion which had accidentally strayed within the cave. Perhaps, I considered, the Almighty had chosen for me a swifter and more merciful death than that of hunger. Yet the instinct of self-preservation, never wholly dormant, was stirred in my breast, and though escape from the oncoming peril might but spare me for a sterner and more lingering end, I determined nevertheless to part with my life at as high a price as I could command. Strange as it may seem, my mind conceived of no intent on the part of the visitor save that of hostility. Accordingly, I became very quiet, in the hope that the unknown beast would, in the absence of a guiding sound, lose its direction, as had I, and thus pass me by. But this hope was not destined for realization, for the strange footfall steadily advanced the animal evidently having obtained my scent, which in an atmosphere so absolutely free from all distracting influences as is that of the cave, could doubtless be followed at a great distance. Seeing, therefore, that I must be armed for defense against an uncanny and unseen attack in the dark, I grouped about me the largest of the fragments of rocks which were strewn upon all parts of the floor of the cavern in the vicinity, and, grasping one in each hand for immediate use, awaited the resignation, the inevitable result. Awaited with resignation the inevitable result. Meanwhile, the hideous patterning of the paws drew near. Certainly the conduct of the creature was exceedingly strange. Most of the time, the tread seemed to be that of a quadruped, walking with a singular lack of unison betwixt hind and 4 feet. Yet at brief and infrequent intervals, I fancied that but 2 feet were engaged in the process of locomotion. I wondered what species of animal was to confront me. It must, I thought, be some unfortunate beast who had paid for its curiosity to investigate one of the entrances of the fearful grotto with a lifelong confinement in its interminable recesses. It doubtless obtained as food the eyeless fish, bats, and rats of the cave, as well as some of the ordinary fish that are wafted in at every freshet of Green River, which communicates in some occult manner with the waters of the cave. I occupied my terrible vigil with grotesque conjectures of what alterations cave life might have wrought in the physical structure of the beast. Remembering the awful appearances ascribed by local tradition to the consumptives who had died after long residence in the cavern. Then I remembered with a start that even should I succeed in killing my antagonist, I should never behold its form, as my torch had long since been extinct, and I was entirely unprovided with matches. The tension on my brain now became frightful. My disordered fancy conjured up hideous and fearsome shapes from the sinister darkness that surrounded me, and that actually seemed to press upon my body. Nearer the dreadful footfalls approached. It seemed that I must give vent to a piercing scream, yet had I been sufficiently irresolute to attempt such a thing, my voice could scarce have responded. I was petrified, rooted to the spot. I doubt if my right arm would allow me to hurl its missile at the oncoming thing when the crucial moment should arrive. Now the steady pat of the steps was close at hand. Now very close. I could hear the labored breathing of the animal, and terror-struck as I was, I realized that it must have come from a considerable distance, and was correspondingly fatigued. Suddenly the spell broke. My right hand, guided by my ever-trustworthy sense of hearing, threw with full force the sharp-angled bit of limestone which it contained, toward that point in the darkness from which emanated the breathing and pattering, and wonderful to relate, it nearly reached its goal, for I heard the thing jump, landing at a distance away, where it seemed to pause.
Discover card here to explain our cashback match.
Sorry. Okay. After that pause, we shall continue. See what is next here. Alright. Continuing the beast in the cave. Having readjusted my aim, I discharged my second missile, this time most effectively, for with a flood of joy I listened as the creature fell in what sounded like a complete collapse, and evidently remained prone and unmoving. Almost overpowered by the great relief which rushed over me, I reeled back against the wall. The breathing continued in heavy, gasping inhalations and expirations, whence I realized that I had no more than wounded the creature, and now all desire to examine the thing ceased. At last, something allied to groundless, superstitious fear had entered my brain, and I did not approach the body, nor did I continue to cast stones at it in order to complete the extinction of its life. Instead, I ran at full speed in what was, as nearly as I could estimate in my frenzied condition, the direction from which I had come. Suddenly I heard a sound, or rather a regular succession of sounds. In another instant they had resolved themselves into a series of sharp, metallic clicks. This time there was no doubt. It was the guide. And then I shouted, yelled, screamed, even shrieked with joy as I beheld in the vaulted arches above the faint and glimmering effulgence which I knew to be the reflected light of an approaching torch. I ran to meet the flare, and before I could completely understand what had occurred, was lying upon the ground at the feet of the guide, embracing his boots and gibbering, despite my boasted reserve, in a most meaningless and idiotic manner, pouring out my terrible story, and at the same time overwhelming my auditor with protestations of gratitude. At length I awoke to something like my normal consciousness. The guide had noted my absence upon the arrival of the party at the entrance of the cave, and had, from his own intuitive sense of direction, proceeded to make a thorough canvass of the by-passages just ahead of where he had last spoken to me, locating my whereabouts after a quest of about 4 hours. By the time he had related this to me, I, emboldened by his torch and his company, began to reflect upon the strange beast which I had wounded but a short distance back in the darkness, and suggested that was ascertain by the rushlight's aid what manner of creature was my victim. Suggested that, Accordingly, I retraced my steps, this time with a courage born of companionship, to the scene of my terrible experience. Soon we descried a white object upon the floor, an object wider even than that of gleaming limestone itself. Cautiously advancing, we gave vent to a simultaneous ejaculation of wonderment. For of all the unnatural monsters either of us had in our lifetimes beheld, this was in surpassing degree the strangest. It appeared to be an anthropod ape of large proportions, escaped perhaps from some itinerant menagerie. Its hair was snow-white, a thing due no doubt to the bleaching action of a long existence within the inky confines of the cave, but it was also surprisingly thin, being indeed largely absent save on the head, where it was of such length and abundance that it fell over the shoulders in considerable profusion. The face was turned away from us, as the creature lay almost directly upon it. The inclination of the limbs was very singular, explaining, however, the alteration in their use which I had before noted, whereby the beast used sometimes all four, and on other occasions but 2 for its progress. From the tips of the fingers or toes, long nail-like claws extended. The hands or feet were not prehensile, a fact that I ascribed to that long residence in the cave which, as I before mentioned, seemed evident from the all-pervading and almost unearthly whiteness, so characteristic of the whole anatomy. No tail seemed to be present. The respiration had now grown very feeble, and the guide had drawn his pistol with the evident intent of dispatching the creature. When a sudden sound emitted by the latter caused the weapon to fall unused. The sound was of a nature difficult to describe. It was not like the normal note of any known species of simian, and I wondered if this unnatural quality were not the result of a long, continued, and complete silence, broken by the sensations produced by the advent of the light, a thing which the beast could not have seen since its first entrance into the cave. The sound, which I might feebly attempt to classify as a kind of deep-toned chattering, was faintly continued. All at once, a fleeting spasm of energy seemed to pass through the frame of the beast. The paws went through a convulsive motion, and the limbs contracted. With a jerk, the white body rolled over, so that its face was turned in our direction. For a moment, I was so struck with horror at the eyes thus revealed that I noted nothing else. They were black. Those eyes, deep, jetty black in hideous contrast to the snow-white hair and flesh. They were black, those eyes, like those of other cave denizens. They were deeply sunken in their orbits, and were entirely destitute of iris. As I looked more closely, I saw that they were set in a face less prognathous than that of the average ape, and infinitely more hairy. The nose was quite distinct. As we gazed upon the uncanny sight presented to our vision, the thick lips opened, and several sounds issued from them, after which the thing relaxed in death. The guide clutched my coat sleeve and trembled so violently that the light shook fitfully, casting weird moving shadows on the walls about us. I made no motion, but stood rigidly still, my horrified eyes fixed upon the floor ahead. Then fear left, and wonder, awe, compassion, and reverence succeeded in its place, for the sounds uttered by the stricken figure that lay stretched out in the limestone had told us the awesome truth. The creature I had killed, the strange beast of the unfathomed cave, was, or had at one time, been a man. Alrighty, hope you enjoyed The Beast in the Cave by H.P. Lovecraft. Alright then guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to some playwriting of my own now. Back to original play with good positivity and fun. Looking forward to a great time in the Roost. Thanks again to Dragon Champion Fabelot for the 10-month resub. That is very exciting. 10 whole month resubs. Isaac coming to chat as well. Russian friend Igor also making the journey to the Dragon's Roost. A lovely adventure, a short journey it is. Hope to chat with more of you soon for an inspiring, fun time here as we carry on for the week, get closer and closer to our streamiversary, and only 12 days to go for that. Celebrating a whole year on stream, moving forward here. There are several emotes, several things on the channel, 20 channel rewards. We'll get some more alerts for you guys very soon, and more content all the time. So we shall enjoy, we shall have a great time in positivity, overcoming the false ignorance, the false negativity, the false nonsense that people get distracted and isolate themselves, and just people get away from their true selves, deceive themselves. So we're trying to get back to the truth, overcoming it here on a great fun Thørsday. It's a day for champions, a day for brave warriors and dragon knights of all kinds. So we're gonna go and help open up Nightmares here. Nightmares 13 looks like the last one there. Left off on. Should Valerie the title. Side note, the knights. That's all that fun there. Yeah, Nightmares 13 looks like the most recent version here. We left off, had a few different things. Our playwriting fun. We're very excited to be celebrating our 8 out of 8 sub goal. We're back to live scene here soon. We'll on to some great adventures. It's gonna be fun. For now, keep it up in the chill stone here and see. Yeah, quite where I left off. Somewhere around the end here. Yeah, several things. So I'm going to working on it by scene. I've been jumping around a lot. It's a little easier for me to do a bit here and there instead of doing it linearly. We've got 2 acts, 6 scenes within those 2 acts, 3 scenes each act. And working on it gradually, finding a good balance. So we're going to keep that up. See what else we can get to. Absolutely fun stuff. And we'll switch on over to special events unless I find a good playwriting. Or just writing. Nah, it's just other writing games. Pretty much got a few things like that. But yeah, special events works for now. There's a game called Nightmare. Kind of curious if that is. Nightmare Tower. Remember that too. That's a fun flash game actually called Nightmare. I'm not too sure what it is. Nightmare Orc. Yeah, there's several ones like that. So we'll look at those later. Of course, there's Nightmare from Soul Calibur too. That was the main influence. Remember that. But I don't know if Nightmare is on Steam here. Yeah, it is. Nightmare Lands, Nightmare, other platformer game. I don't know if that's the actual one or not, but we don't need to confuse the stream with the titles and stuff like that. Confuse people think we're actually playing a game called Nightmare, unless it refers to the specific story or book or so. But that should be fine for now, so we'll see. Shall enjoy it and have a good time of it. For now, though, let's go ahead move on with some of that Nightmare writing here. So where we left off, what we can do. Have a good time with it. Alrighty, so several scenes here. What else can I add to? What What else needs some more? I feel like I definitely had more to the gestures, stinking all them when they had the meeting here at Top of Act 2. I could use some more for sure, so go ahead and save this next version. Nightmares 14. That's what that'll be. The 14th version here. I know there's more I can add for it to be a more substantial play, a long play, not just a few words of dialogue and then on to the next scene. I can do more than that. Something more substantial, but it'll be good for a rough draft at least, and hopefully get a nice table read for it or something. And see what else we can add to it and improve upon that. But it's a good collaborative process. Usually it's nice to have at least one co-author, co-writer work on it with you and flesh it out. And my experienced theater friends, directors or such, I'm sure I can get some of them to at least take a little look at it, you know. We can actually put it on at some point, but it'll be there, you know. My second play, so it's fun to work on a good bit after the wedding night. So let me think about it. Think what else we need here. Alright, so this is before the fight scene. We need more in the dungeon, that's for sure. The ending. This is the final scene. Then just very brief bones of that. I need to add much more meat to that, so take a look. Alright, so what else we got here? Will take my place and bring the truth out to bargain. You will not. Meaningless resistance has already been crushed. Misguided allies. The truth. Find a way. Will be free. Thinking about it. else we could add for them? That's okay. Strength shots from time. Interesting, pretty good fun. All fine. Thinking about what else here. Couple of things. Where would the jesters be if I don't introduce them at all in the first act? To figure out where they are, what they're doing. Act 2. Jester here. Just need to think of a time they actually enter the play of action. Just interesting if they betray them and there's a turn of events or something. A little too confusing, other things. Jester there at the very end. Make much sense. Oh, there's a lot of different things to that. But it's a decent rig for now, so go ahead and save that for now, and we'll see what else. Alright then, guys. Not too fun. So for now, that'll be Nightmares 14. See what I got so far. Good times in it though. We got it, you know. Text there. And that's another version of Nightmares then. Alright, fun stuff. Think that'll be good for now. We could get to Little Darkest Dungeon, I guess, before we come back. Some good hunts tonight. Other adventures like that. We'll see.
Tuesday, February 9th, 2010. I am Anthony Serrano.
Oh, silly.
And I'm ready for some action.
12 years ago. Snow.
Pretty effective. It's all wet around here.
Silly teenage years in the snow there. You guys don't need to see that. Alright. It was just me showing the snow outside. I was being silly. Alright, Phasmophobia balance. There's stuff like that. Get some other things soon. Hunt, Beholder, Baldur's Gate 3. Sent back for Blood Ancestors Legacy, back to Dishonored soon, many other things. Except play Darkest Dungeon, we just have the Jester Stink there in the play, we can play him. Darkest Dungeon a bit more too. So we just go ahead and get to that right away. We just play a solid amount of that before we think about lunch break and coming back for more tonight. Get up things set up for Streamer First to read fun. Today is indeed a fun Theater Thursday. Get some Darkest Dungeon fun right away, friends. Some goal reach, exciting stuff for that. Good old Fable-Lot. Let's keep it going here with some other good fun. Time for some Darkest Dungeon, get some other good chats and good times with that. Let's begin adventure for that. At least get a nice round or two. It can take quite a while sometimes, so I'm trying to make more progress. Played a bit more often. You saw last time I played was a few days ago. See what the achievements were, such. Had, oh yeah, that one for the time. I didn't get one actually last time I played. That's alright. Alright, hopefully I'll sit here. Let's continue. Darkest, yeah, that Brightest and Hamlet, week 51, February 3rd. Yeah, we played a week ago. Did we another emote here? Try it out. Wolfenstein fun. I'll try that when I come back tonight. See if we can add that. And I want to get some new alerts and things too. So we'll just have to have that gradually. I don't like to spend too much time doing that actual stream stuff on stream itself, because we just want to get to the main content, the main adventures. We'll start a little bit of our Darkest Dungeon adventure right now, so more stuff soon to come. We'll try to get little things off stream for you guys, so you can just focus on the adventures, focus on the good fun here. But we'll do little things here and there on stream as well, such as the video editing last night. That's probably the most I'll spend for a while actually doing something off stream like that, even though it's on stream. But it was a fun process on stream. But we want to get more chatters, more engagement, more activity, more adventure.
In time, you will
See,
know the
busking.
tragic extent of my failings.
There's the jesters. Yep, there's the jesters. The right finger right when we wrote about Stink and the jesters thing there. Add them this, so at least we got some. There he is, Stink himself, and all idle jesters from this daily one. Gain 1 resolve level, even though these guys are idle and they didn't. How do you make them idle then? I'm so confused. Because see, I have the performance. All jesters are my best class right now, but it says idle jesters gain 1 resolve level. These guys are still level 0. So how the heck do you actually become idle? It's not by putting them in relief or anything like that. Or you can even put them there where they don't have any stress. I don't think it asks for confirmation, so I'm not going to do that. There's really no reason to do that. To put an unstressed hero in stress relief. It lets you waste money if you want to. There's always ways to waste money. There's no reason to do that, though. Anyway, I don't know why it says they gain a resolve level. They didn't actually. But don't worry about it for now. Use some other upgrades, other things. Not the ones I'm actually using. It doesn't have to upgrade abilities I'm not using. Certainly not. There we go. Stink can already upgrade to the Masterwork Sickle and the Fine Loot and the Armored Guard. Excellent. Make sure everybody's pretty happy with that. Oh, can upgrade the Flagellant here. Might as well, I guess. Get him up to Master. Suffering Flail onto the Bloodthirsty Flail. Scarred Flesh to the Martyr's Flesh. Getting very close to the top of the top there. We have a little crest in these other relics, you know, this little things there, but I just want to get to the round for sure here. It's too late, so look back when we have enough for that. Hopefully enough for inventory moving forward. So sell all these artifacts. Those people have something though. They need stuff for the shield breaker there. Does she have a stun? Let me see what she has. Yeah, no stun here, just poison basically. Basic ones. I'd like to get that one. I've never seen that one on anyone. Pale seems to be good. Expose. This one is good. That's the armor. The blocking armor there. That's pretty good. But to get certain skills, sometimes you do need to. I don't know. How do you unlock them? Oh, you have to just unlock. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot we could actually customize here for their abilities. We don't really need all of these, so. Should be getting like the second position. Can expose somebody, bypass stealth. We also have this one. This is good defensive. We have these other defensive ones. About that, you know. I like that one because it is a good bit of defensive. We lost the last one because of the farmstead was really crazy, but be better prepared for that next time. So yeah, there's the guild, blacksmith, and we have the camping skills, survivalist. I'm gonna spend a bunch of money just to have other camping skills which really aren't terribly necessary, so I don't know. We'll see. Other stuff around the way. We got Lupus, Alucard, TARDIS, Thablot here, 9-1 champion, Marshmallow. Needs to be in some treatment here. only pray for stress relief. So Marshmallow, go ahead and pray here. Yeah, forgot to put him there. And Vitalis here is afflicted. I didn't put them in treatment yet either. That's Aquarian. She is skilled gambler, so yeah, put her at the tavern for some gambling fun. It's funny, anybody can do the treatments. It's not really necessary. But yeah, these other guys are only slightly stressed, don't need it. Those were the two ones that really needed it. Let's take a look then. I don't know why this didn't actually work. Idle jesters mean get jesters that are just sitting there, not actually engaged in the activity. So I don't know why that didn't actually work, or if it has to do a certain amount of time or something. I don't understand that. I really could have used that if it actually worked. Anyway, next boss we have a full necromancer. Got a skirmish there. We've got the farmstead back to veteran that killed me last time, killed my whole team. The miller last time. We've got the hag there. We've got the siren there. Got the champion battle there. Got the darkest dungeon there. Let's go back to some level 1s then. I need to save the little picture that shows the actual XP rate and such. So let me see. The fandom, yeah, little wiki here. Nice to copy that little picture. The Shrieker quest. What the heck is that? Some other short one. Alright, I'm just gonna save that somewhere so it's there. Alright, never mind. It's kind of not the best picture for it, but I saw it. It's just, you know, based on how long the quest is. So, for example, we get more levels here for it being long, and it being medium. It's just longer, of course, so I don't know. We haven't done this one yet. Yeah, Animalistic Shrine, so that'd be fun to try that out. Town event, fresh air in the tunnels. I don't know what that is, but try it out. The beastmen have erected crude and dirty shrines to their pagan gods. Knock them down with pickaxe and might and impede their worship. Alright, try that out. We got Favelot, Willie, other Jester. That would be fine. Yeah, these two guys. Decent position, hopefully. Finale being in second place, you do want to use that more often. You could put him in the front. Fable on the front, he with 10 months today. Got some diseases, fine. Almost to master for Willie. Needs one more resolve XP. Get a few for Fable as well. To use her more often, but she's definitely in the front. I like to use the finale on him. Can't use that in the front. 2, he can't use the ballad, but he can harvest. He can do that. If he gets pushed back, he can use the ballad. So, second position isn't too bad for the Jester. Got Man-at-Arms. He's another front 2 also, pretty much. I guess he don't want to use combat skills. It's weird, I can't switch off the abilities here, but I can in the town. That doesn't make sense. To go back to the town just to switch out abilities. I don't understand that. Alright, he would be fine there. Get a few, yeah, masters here. I'm trying to get them up to veteran. Do need a support now, so Alucard maybe. Might as not really. Isn't that weird? You can only switch abilities in the actual town. You can't do it just here in the ready screen. That is strange to me. Alright, how about her? Yeah, she's a good one in the back. Good heal there. Level 3 veteran Vestal. The rest masters, highwayman, crusader, and jester. So instinct for later. Favelot leading the charge here today. Let's see how they do. Not too bad there. Alright, so we're gonna, for the very first time, knock down the shrines. Animalistic shrines. Let's check our provisions. Get free for that. Oh yeah, we do a pickaxe for the quest, so we can't get rid of those apparently. That's what you use for the actual quest, so. This is medium. We could use a couple foods. Standard torches. Basic equipment. Hopefully not too much, but enough. I have shovels too. Really not much room for other things, especially with all these pickaxes, but that's the name of the quest. See how we do. Alright, hopefully that's enough. We have enough room for other stuff, especially those relics, all these things we need, we really need. These little relics and aquariums, whatever they call them. Resources. Yeah, we don't need to look at what they're actually called. So we'll be set there. Alright then, guys. Let's get to it then. Good, yeah, I have that sound muted when not when minimized, so that's kind of nice. I think it would take away his dialogue. Let's see if it interrupts the dialogue here, just so I know going forward. Let's see if it actually interrupts it.
The swine draw power from their horrid.
Yeah, from their horrid.
Tear them down.
Yep, I definitely interrupted the dialogue, so I'll try not to alt-tab. Wow, then I can also just mute on the background and not have that. So I know that's there, we'll turn it back on. Needed for now. I'll only keep the sound going even in the background. So I don't interrupt dialogue and points like that. Basically just say they have relics, tear them down. Oh, and a secret door right off the bat. Wow. That's pretty nice. That is pretty nice. The key for that. Great. Facts, yes.
Packs laden with loot
Head.
are often low on supplies.
25% protection and 2 of the trapezoedron. That was very nice there. Wow. Got a lot of money from that. And the head is pretty good despite a lot of stress. So if somebody's low health, I might put that on just to protect them better. In the meantime, while I get the extra stress. Alright, not bad there. I'll come back to the backpack here since I have literally no room again. And quest location. Here we go. Gotta get those certain quests. There it is. Let's break it with the pickaxe. There you go. Decimate shrine. That was it, huh? Okay. Great. Oh, another shrine here. Save a lot, take care of that. Beautiful. That's all we need, apparently. More curio there, doesn't seem worth it at the moment. Board weapons. It might give you a little buff or something, but we're fine, just spiders here. Let's take care of it. They're not too bad.
Be gone, fiend.
Finale boost. Torches on there. Good adventure time.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
No challenge for them, especially being apprentice level and we're masters here for this.
Another abomination.
They're not so
cleansed
bad.
from our lands.
Not too bad at all. The harder ones.
Seize this momentum.
Lower characters
Push
also.
on to the task's end.
Alright, this is curio. Still don't have room for it, so I'll come back. Keep searching here. Swine. Get them out of there. Could use the finale early. Might as well. When it's that good, you know. Why not? It's pretty funny. Illumination. heal.
The wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden.
The option there. Smite him down, hit a lot.
Press this advantage.
Champion.
Give them no quarter.
Alright. I have no room for the food. I don't want to let go of the rubies. Just go my firewood. Could also trade the artifacts. Put one of these if I want more stress. I hate having inventory issues. That's my main gripe with these type of games. Really hoping the second one made that much easier. Get like a mod or something. There might be mods in the workshop so let you get the achievements and the progress. Just have no inventory issue. That'd be cheating though, so we don't need to cheat. XHP, healing, torch, that's pretty good. That one's not too good. Alright, 25 protection, a lot more stress. We already had plus 10% stress, so he has plus 30% stress now. I'm gonna go for that. Interest of the rubies. Need that flash fire, gunpowder, common. And the 2 food, I have no one to food because they're all full health, so we shall leave these behind. Nothing else to be done. Alright, leave that there. Can come back, get more if we have room later. Actually use all these things. Alright, got one set of torches, so we'll see how that works out. Still didn't have the extra room for it. Okay. There, yeah, books can be good. Torch is the worst thing you can do. Firewood, I doubt it work. Probably a very specific instance you'd actually use firewood besides camping. Well, actually used it by accident there. Right-clicking apparently uses it too. Hopefully I don't need to camp now, because there that goes. Anyway, nothing on the books. That was silly, but it's not too long of a quest. We should be alright. Camping isn't always too necessary. It's just a nice boost.
Grievous injury. Palpable fear.
Some guys.
Back to the pit.
Alrighty. Let's see what else here. Make some sort of progress. Bit by bit.
Executed with impunity.
Right, other funds to pursue to our intermission.
Of skill and purpose.
All these good stuff.
Another one falls.
Alright.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Not allowed to have 2 of the same trinket. Our hero. Like to get those crests, but to sacrifice something. Do need some crests though, right? Crest kind of the least valuable one, I think so. I don't know if it's really worth it, but inventory issues, really unfortunate. I don't know. Alright, let's keep exploring. Oh yeah, I never put put him back in position. I meant to. As a mistake. We'll work with it.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
That'll be fine. Too bad.
A time to perform beyond one's limits.
Great. Alright. Portraits.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
What in the heck can you do for inventory management this game? Let me look that up. Let's see. There must be some way. Manage inventory. Yep, no actual advice there. Alright, anyway. Moving on. We'll just do it. We'll be fine. That last pickaxe. I gave you a freaking pickaxe item even filling the inventory up more. That's just silly to me. Swines.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles. Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Finale damage, 7 rounds. Let's get
Eradicated.
That's all we need.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Extra food, we can go ahead. Alright, back in order. Moving on. Another book, Fable-Lot. You like to read, right? Nope. Slow reflexes. Oh well. That's okay. Carry on. Fun time, got to chat with Fable-Lot today from work. Hope he's doing fine. He's a corporate CEO vodka stapler. We'll ask him what that is. Office sometime. Let's see. No. Here we got. Pile of bone. I gotta let me use the pickaxe for the quest. That's good. Gotta use the firewood. Use anything else. Probably let me discard it though. You just can't finish the quest. I don't want to attempt it. Why even try? Alright, rummage through the bones. We got one negative quirk, Fable-Lot. See if you can get something better. Alright, at least better than something negative. Get buffs and other stuff down the line. Alright. Probably up there where I actually need to go. Oh, see that coming. It's getting dark. Might be affecting that. Alright, back up we go. battle there. I don't actually need to go there. But, dang it.
Mechanical hazards possessed by evil intent.
Oh yeah, here's the torch. Heirlooms, and no room to carry them. Damn. I don't want to waste my last torches, so sorry. Alright, just slide over here. Circle there, that's fine. Trap. 120 for him. Spit of trap skills. Okay. Up we go. One more torch. Is that Curio? No. Rack of blades. Oh yeah, the bandages. Protect my hands. Nice. I can actually stack that, which I really like to be able to stack stuff in the inventory. Let me tell you. Alright, battle right ahead. Let's get to it. One more torch. Not too easy. Now. There we go. Alright, let's take him down. Hit both at once, you know. That seems better than slice off, honestly. Alright. Finish. Wow, they're basically dead already.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Yeah, got them all in one go. Might as well finale, only option.
This expedition at least promises success.
Portrait. Torch there. A little bit of extra. Torch, I guess. I could also get rid of that. Antiquarian only. It's not really worth it.
The light. The promise of safety.
There's the quest and the last room battle with treasure. We don't get any extra XP, it's only the dungeon itself, I've learned from the wiki, but at the same time, we could pad our pockets a little more, so we'll see. Alright. Harvest. The drum guy, dangerous. Stun him if possible. Yeah. That's good.
Annihilated.
That's all right. Exactly what we want. Bandages in a moment.
In Radiant, may we find victory.
Push them drums a do. Resist the disease, Fable-Lot? Nah. Where'd he go? Ah, just move resistance. It's not the worst. He has no move resistance now, but I'll live without it. Alright. Just about done here. I was gonna finale, but might as well just do this. At that point, you know, save the finale. Oh, I meant to bandage you, I'm sorry. There you go. Okay. Out of range of all of them, we'll heal yourself for him. Jester Crusader team. Positions. Alright. Now we can finale him. Talk about overkill. Alright, just
Success.
stay.
So clearly in view.
Antiquarian
Or is
there.
it merely a trick of the light?
Switch for these. Healing received or protection. I'll do protection. Alright, that is the last quest. I'm gonna try any of the other things. Just do the objective. Why try the others? Alright, we are done. Well, we might as well get this one more room battle with treasure. Check out that. Might as well do this one more just in case it's something good. He's gonna read the books. There. One more room battle. Why not? Use that holy water now. Pop some holy water, might as well. Oh, I meant to move him back again. Dang it. I forget that like every other time almost. Oh, well. There we are. Brigands. It's the good brigands. We'll get fully healed afterwards anyways. Really no problem here. I don't mind if he gets moved because he has that holy lance. He can just charge right back forward, so if he gets moved, it's not a big loss at all. Just gets to use more abilities basically. Pretty exciting. Time of doing it, guys. Absolutely. Chats for times tonight. We shall see.
Monstrous size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
Very funny.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
So we'll take that. There's emeralds, deeds, and portraits. I guess food. Herbs. Look at the ratio of all this nonsense. Can't use the key on the strong box, so let's try it out. It's a trap. Didn't matter. Alright, good enough. It's whatever.
From the ridings the swine will grow.
End of the first year.
If such a thing were possible.
I think I've already spent a year in the game. Yeah, reach week 52. Uh-oh, that might be bad, but as it is the base difficulty, we won't have a time limit or anything. We'd have to finish the whole game by now, probably on the main one. Well, that's it. End of the first year. We've already spent 40 100 to the achievements. Third of the way there. And a whole year in the game. Game time already. Oh, first champion! That's our very first champion, Willie the Jester. Nice. Okay, the actual true champion emerges. Level 6, but level 5 getting close, guys. That's awesome. Alright, got some ruins things here. We are set. Interesting. Let's see how that affects them.
The twisting tunnels no longer exhale the toxic stench of degeneracy.
Resolve XP and Warrens on next quest. Plus 15% damage and Warrens next quest. So we have to go to the Warrens the next quest, it's telling me. Yeah, we definitely want to go to the Warrens on the next quest. So keep that in mind. Definitely go into Warrens. And 2 level 5. Oh, he got a resolve level after that one. See, it was after the actual one finished. They all got level 1 from Seeker to Apprentice. And they just got champion for the go of it. That's awesome. You want to try to save them at the bottom sometimes, then if you don't get them close and then you just level up anyway. I don't think the XP carries over, right? So, but yeah, 2 champions, Jesters, the very first one to reach level 5. I've never had that before from my other ones. I think I got one on the Caravan, it was like a level 6 one. I mean, I could buy him though. Yeah, there's nothing there. Could use a Hound Master, I guess. Just to use them, I guess, yeah. Get them there.
A lawman and his faithful beast. A bond forged by battle and bloodshed.
I had some Houndmaster trinkets. Yep, this one. Bleed, skill chance, healing received. Have healing skills anywhere. So that is the spike collar for Bleed of the Hound's Rush. Lick wounds. And yeah, it's another guy I have to buy more skills for, looks like. If I actually want to use them. Alright, that is fine though. Let's make sure, oh yeah, we can do the level 5 upgrade soon as I get the upgrade of the actual market there, so excited for that. A little more resources for that though. Ratio of this madness. And the other shop here. Those. It's really laggy for some reason. It's just bugged out. Okay. It's a whole year in the game already. Week 52. It's a long time. 52. Gambled and lost a trinket. Ooh. Thankfully they weren't very good. 69 stress, yeah. Oh well. Got it. Alright, so Warren's next for sure. Let's see, we got time for that. Stink the champion jesters. Nice balance levels, pretty much. Not too bad. Enjoying that. And now, yeah, not much things to upgrade, so we can upgrade those. Probably upgrade this one at least. Yeah, this one's a bit cheaper, so. Skills upgrade to rank 3. 9 portraits. Let's see if I can do that. Only some of them can be traded is the annoying thing. Don't really understand how this works. 3 for 1 for that, yeah, that's rough. I don't think I'll have enough with all these other ones. 3 for 1. Two deeds, yeah. But might as well try, right? This is 3 to 1, so we do 9. We can get 3, 4 away. Nothing else except shards, which I'd rather not use. Especially that it's 6 to 1. That's crazy. Alright, well, we'll come back here to the Warrens fun, and we'll finish off the rest of this, get more of those portraits, figure out the rest of these items. And we'll look forward to Warrens on the next embarkment. We should go to Warrens, which will be, oh dear, the boss. So yeah, we gotta do the boss, veteran level 3. We got our first couple champions though, so not too worried about him. Hopefully have a Swine King. Oh dear, that'll be tough. Swine King will do that before champion level 5 though, so level 3 will at least have some advantage with the masters and champions here. See if we do both jesters or not. And hopefully we get another blueprint at some point as well here. Good levels for that. But pretty interesting. Resolve XP, we get a boost for that and damage, so we'll be pretty well equipped. We'll see how it goes, guys. Go back to Darkest Dungeon soon, play more. Good rounds, good time. We had some good setup there, and celebrating level 5 champions and 10-month dragon champion. Favolat. Getting a little Dragon Raid for now. Go ahead, come back tonight for some more action. Thank you to Favelot, Isaac, and Igor chatting a bit today. Lovely to see you guys. Hope everyone else doing okay. Hope to chat with you soon. Get a little raid for now before come back tonight with more good times. So look forward to that, guys. Gonna be fantastic. In the meantime, have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Catch you in a bit. I'll be back. Catch you in a bit. I'll be back. Catch you in a bit.
Ace the Sly raiding with a party of one.
Much worse than mere trickery and boogeymen.
How you doing, Ace? Thank you for that shout out, Secret Life.